What is going on, guys? Welcome to JPal Music. Happy Friday. Of course, if you like the videos, definitely subscribe to the channel. Definitely would appreciate it. Putting more stuff up there, planning more episodes for various podcasts within the channel, such as artists like us, which is the new channel I started, or the new podcast I started, sorry, that I'm putting videos on this channel for. And then some other stuff, so be sure to tune in, of course, like the videos that go on the internet. I would see. I was working today, right? I wanted to take some time to do this video, and I was thinking, is this like one of the worst years of music that we've encountered? Because I was trying to think of just like music where I was like, man, I've really been anticipating this album. I listened to it and I was like, man, this is great. But thinking about as far as what else released, it's hard for me to think about what has actually come out besides like the whole Kendrick Drake beef, those songs that originally diss tracks that released on streaming services. Obviously, Not Like Us is like the most arguably most popular song this year that I think everyone's pretty tired of this point. Still a great song, but I don't think anybody wants to hear it again. At least I'll speak for myself. But beyond that, like, what else has come out this year that's been really good? I can't really think of anything. So I wanted to pull up a list here. This is from Wikipedia. As far for a list of albums that have released so far for 2024. So I wanted to do that, and we can kind of figure it out. And obviously, put an album in the comments that you listened to this year that you're like, yeah, this is actually a really good album, or these are some really good songs. I know a lot of people these days, at least from the younger generation, they don't really listen to albums, right? They listen to just singles and playlists. But even just starting from the beginning of the year, right? 21 Savage, American Dream, I guess, came out. I listened to a little bit of that. It was okay. I wasn't, it didn't really do anything for me personally. Kali Uchis did come out. Orchideas. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Kid Cudi Insano released his album there. Uh, don't know if this. Let me know if this album was good. I haven't really listened to it, but I wasn't really driven to do so. I didn't really hear anything from anybody, especially like Kid Cudi fans. So, not too sure about that one. Leading into, this is still in January, by the way. Don't know who any of these people are. Green Day, obviously, I know who they are. Saviors. So that came out earlier this year. Again, didn't hear much about it. Right? Didn't hear much about it. Um, and that's the thing too. A lot of these albums come out, and I don't hear like if it's great or not, unless it's a huge artist. Benny the Butcher released "Everybody Can't Go." I don't know. I'm a big fan of the Plugs I Met series. Part one is my favorite, but beyond that, I haven't really been interested in a lot of what he's released past that, or just impressed. I'll say. Um, so I mean, going into February, let's see what we got here. Jay Massey's. We got very. Yeah, I don't know who any of these people are. None of them really interest me. Oh, What Now? This is a good album. Okay, Brittany Howard. What Now? Sorry, guys. Uh, that's a really solid album. That was a solid album. I do remember listening to that one. That was pretty good. So I was happy listening to that. So shout out to Brittany Howard. Definitely want to see her live one day. Um, let's see. Rhyme Fest released something. Usher Coming Home. I did not listen to that. Usher fans, put your thoughts in the comments. Did you like that album? Was it any good? I know there's a couple songs that were playing on the radio that I was like, this is pretty good. Um, some songs sound like other ones, but that's kind of like all of music, right? Jason Derulo, don't really listen to him. She did her "This Is Me" album run, which I didn't fucking care for. That's a lot. I like her old stuff really more so. Jenny from the Block. You know what I'm saying? Leading into the end of February here, yeah, really nothing that's really getting me going. Nitro Megacy did a deluxe version of that album there, so I may have to check that out to see. NGMT Loss of Life. Curious how that is. They have some slaps, I will say. Philip Sykes released. Aha, the Wolves are coming. I'm not sure if I didn't listen to that. I'm a fan of Philip Sykes. Amazing guitar player. Has kind of that Stevie Ray vibe. Jesus Christ, SRV thing going on. So, but great player, very great, a really good player. I'll have to check that one out. It's like Jacob Collier dropped his volume 4. I didn't listen to that, so I'm not like super excited to listen to it. But I mean, Jacob Collier, he's that guy. You know what I mean? He's very very talented. Julian Lange, incredible guitar player, Speak to Me. Again, that album wasn't really speaking to me to really listen to be honest with you. Schoolboy Q, Blue Lips. Okay, I did listen to this album. It's pretty good. It's hard to beat his old albums like Oxymoron, and he's got some pretty good albums in the past. It's just really hard to beat them. It takes a while to get into this album from the beginning. There's kind of like a lot of songs where I'm like, I don't really care for this. I don't really care for this. And then once it gets to the Blue Lips track and a couple of ones after he starts to really get into the vibe of what he's trying to accomplish for the album in its entirety. So I did appreciate that. I'd probably give it like a 7 out of 10. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Ariana Grande, skip. Sorry for the Ariana Grande fans. The Libertines, they got some good tracks. Didn't really care to listen to anything beyond that. Nora Jones, that's my girl, but I haven't listened to her latest album. She's kind of one where it's like, oh, Nora Jones is on, and I listened to it. Looks like Young Boy Never Broke Again released Compliments of Grave Digger Mountain. I didn't listen to that one. The Comeback Kid Dragon Force released. Oh yeah, Justin Timberlake, Everything I Was. I didn't really care for this album. I listened to it. It didn't sound terrible. I mean, it was better than the one he did in The Forest, right? The one beforehand, which I was like, Justin, what is going on? You know, Chris Stapleton was probably the best thing in that album. I think he was featured on a couple of those songs in the album. I didn't really. That Forest album was fucking terrible. But for this, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I mean, I wasn't like, there wasn't anything that really was any better than anything he's released in the past, in my opinion. Let's see. We're in March here, ladies and gentlemen. Gary Clark Jr., JPEG Raw. Okay, so I am a Gary Clark Jr. fan. I am. What is it? The Stories of Sonny Slim. That's my favorite album. It's the one where like it looks like it's like a silhouette of like a little boy and he's like waiting for like the train station or something. Brilliant album. Really great album. Amazing collection of songs. That's my favorite Gary Clark Jr. album. JPEG Raw, I know he goes into a lot of different sounds and everything, which I appreciated, but I didn't really hear anything that was really like, not necessarily hits, but just like, I don't know. I didn't really care for the songs, I guess. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I need to listen to it again. But that's just kind of how I felt at the time when I listened to it. So shout out to Gary Clark. I appreciate all that he is. You know, I don't know. I don't know if that album really, if it did it for me. Yeah, going at the end of March here. I mean, 3 months out of the year, really nothing huge. That's like, yo, this year of music is amazing. Heaven, hell, some 41 fans. Oh wow, it's their final album. Was that album good? Let me know, please. Please let me know if that was good. Diving into April, very disappointing. Ohio Players. I was waiting for this album to come out. I mean, I felt like it was going to be a letdown. I feel like Brothers was kind of the last thing that they released where I was like, yeah, that was really good. Like, excellent. Kind of falling off from there. I know they kind of had a hiatus of playing music. I'm glad they're working on music again, but few songs in, I didn't really care for the album. Even the album before, I was like, definitely not. So I don't know. Bryson Tiller, he does some dope stuff. I haven't really listened to that album. Let's see. J. Cole might delete later. That's right, that did come out in the midst of all this whole shenanigans of the beefs and all that shit. This is a pretty good album. I enjoyed it for the most part. I thought, obviously he had the diss track with Kendrick, which was very mild, very mild. and then he deleted it, which I found hilarious. And he just did a track release. He responded finally to Drake and Kendrick, I guess, months later after he decided he didn't want to be a part of it. And now he's talking, he's talking crap months away, months ago, months later. So I found that just hilarious. I'm like, okay, J. Cole, do what you want to do. Karambit and Asala, this is a really good album. Yeah, that's a really good album. I actually enjoyed that. Um, so that is one definitely to listen to. Mood Swings, Marcus King. I haven't checked out. I am a fan of Marcus King. I just haven't checked that album out. But again, right? I mean, this is in March. I think we're in April. Yeah, we're in April here. Again, all these artists don't really care for these albums, to be honest with you. Metro Boomin feature We Still Don't Trust You. This was actually pretty good. This is one of the better albums that came out this year. I actually really like this. There's some really dope. There's some good slaps on there. J. Cole has a fire verse on one of those songs on one of the songs on the album. Really good album actually. Let's see here. Yeah, nothing. Local Natives released. Pearl Jam. This was actually a pretty good album. I was very surprised. Dark Matter. Really solid sound, great sounding album. Energy is great. The music is pretty good. I wouldn't mind listening to that again. I listened to it the entire album all the way, making a drive into LA. That's a good album. That's a good album. So I'll give him that. UB40, UB40. I actually watched them. My wife and I we went to see them at the Greek Theater. And the main guy, he's not really singing anymore because I think he's got, his singing chops isn't where they used to be. So they brought on this other guy who just kind of seemed like a dick, to be honest. It seemed like he didn't really care about singing for the fans. So they're out of UB45. I kind of skipped it. I listened to some of the songs watching live. I was like, So I think that was disappointing for UB40 fans, to be honest with y'all. Hovey came out. They have some interesting songs. These really, really interesting indie band. Didn't listen to that album though, I'll be honest with you. St. Vincent Allborn Screaming. I do have to listen to this album. This is one that I did skip, not intentionally. I just didn't get to listen to it. So there's a couple of albums I need to check in to see how that is. I just don't hear anything on the internet when it comes to this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard. And then it looks like Tom York, he did some scoring for film. So that's that album there. Let's see. Dua Lipa. If it's on the radio, I'll listen to it. Beyond that, meh. Kamasi Washington, Fearless Movement. I do need to listen to this album. Yeah, I missed the boat on that one, and I'm a huge fan of Kamasi. I am a fan of, I won't say I'm a huge fan because obviously I haven't listened to it, but I'm a fan of Kamasi Washington, so that I will check out, definitely. Willow, I hear this album is great. I hear this album is great. I fucking haven't listened to it yet, so I'm a fucking idiot for not doing so, but I have to listen to that. I hear the Willow, and Pathogen. I hear it's great. So that one I will check out. But man, I just don't hear a whole bunch of albums. I guess this for this year. Like usually when I hear a bunch of great albums, I hear about them. Like I hear about them and like, wow, that's great. You know what I mean? Going through the internets, and maybe it's just my algorithms. Maybe these shitty algorithms online. Ghostface Killah released the Set in Stone. It was fine. Sour Soul will always be my favorite Ghostface Killah album. Sour Soul is just incredible. I listened to this. It was pretty good. Kanye West's verse was nonsense on that album. I wouldn't have put it on the song. Kings of Leon, Can We Please Have Fun? Haven't listened to that. Nothing is gonna be better than that album that released that had Sex on Fire on there, and that's a classic fucking album. It's just, it's hard when you have to outdo yourself. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Yeah, we're in May here. Billie Eilish release, Cage Elephant, Skip. Nothing. Mac Homie. I heard this. I actually listened to a little bit of this. This was pretty good. Shout out to Mac Homie if you're a Mac Homie fan. That type of vibe. That's a good album. Please Don't Cry. This is one of my favorite albums this year, definitely. So Please Don't Cry, really fire, really fire. Very well made album by Rhapsody. Lenny Kravitz released an album, which I didn't hear anything about once again. So at least when I do this video, I realize there's albums I need to listen back to. I just don't hear anything. And it's probably just because of how the music algorithm system is today. Bat for Lashes. I've heard of them. I don't listen to their albums really. I don't care for it. We're in June here. Really nothing. Yeah, not really looking at seeing anything where I'm like, yes, why didn't I listen to this? I'll be honest with you guys. I was disappointed with Hearthstone Psycho. There's some good songs on here, but ah, eh, it was all right. It was all right. It wasn't the best. Let's see, RJD2, meh. June here. Kalani released Crash. This is a pretty good album. I listened to it a little bit. I enjoyed it. Let's see. Yep, nothing. Highest Coyote. It sounds familiar. I need to check that out. I actually hear that's a pretty good album. Love Heart Cheat Code. Gotta listen to that one. I don't listen to Meg the Stallion. Lupe Fiasco Samurai. This is kind of an album that's kind of like smells its own farts. I'll be honest with you. I think the songs sound good, but I think as far as like the inner meanings and entendres, sometimes I feel like a lot of artists like Lupe Fiasco, they just kind of get like I don't know, like not overzealous, but they just they go into these notions of like, oh, this is about this, this, and this, and like nobody would have fucking known unless they've heard them say that. I don't know if that's good artistry. I don't know if that's good artistry. Where it's like it's so much about something, and or it's almost like a double entendre where no one understands what it is, but you think it's genius. You know, I'm like, how is that really good writing at that point? Washed Out released. Didn't hear much about that one there. We're in the Julys, guys. I mean, oh, okay. Auditorium Volume 1, one of the best albums this year. Great fucking album. Really, really good album. They surprised everybody. You know, I think people who weren't Common fans became Common fans. So that is definitely a win there. What else we got here? Childish Gambino, Band on the New World. Disappointing album, I'll be completely honest with you. I was like, whatever. Jack White, No Name, Fire album, big fan. A little biased because I'm a Jack White fan, but very good album. Um, it's better than the last album. I'll give you that. So, Pat Metheny released. That's cool. Um, yeah, nothing there. So it's almost like there's like one album a month that's like it's pretty good, and then every other month it's like that's really good. So it's kind of been the pattern I feel like for this year. Jake Peck Mafia, I'm not a fan of. Sorry. Um, yeah, August is kind of like really nothing. Raven Lay, she's pretty dope. Let's see the script. I don't really care for this stuff. They're just like blah. I'm sad and I blame everybody. Sorry guys, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. Vanessa Williams released an album. That's cool. Big Sean, Better Me Than You. Didn't really hear that much. What do you guys think? Do you guys like that album? Big Sean fans, let me know. John Legend, I kind of grew out of him to be honest. There's only so much I can hear John Legend playing the piano for like 6 albums. Sorry. September. Okay, we're at September here. The Forest. This billboarded, charted, which is crazy. He's like one of the most charting. He has like the most charting albums I hear for LL Cool J. So shout out to him. Not mad at it. You know, not. I like LL Cool J. So I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him for real. Tori Moy, I was disappointed in this album. Whole Earth, you've done better, Tori Moy. Come on, man. Hey James, she's in the Jesus Lizard, nah. Snow Patrol, Blossoms, Future mixtape Pluto. Not sure what's going on there. I already listened to Pluto years ago. Didn't care to listen to a mixtape of it. MC Light, Ben Brother. The Baby released, and I don't know if anyone cared about it, unfortunately. Lady Gaga released Harley Quinn, apparently. Didn't hear anything about that either in that album. That freaking movie is fucking terrible from what I hear. Coldplay Moon Music just released that. I need to dive into that one. I am a fan of Coldplay. And it seems like they've gotten their fanship has grown, which is really surprising to me just because, let me finish, just because I feel like their live experiences, a lot of people resonate with them. And they do it right. They do it right? You know, they really provide a really solid experience from the live perspective. Leon Bridges released. Okay, didn't hear about that. Yeah, guys, so I mean, let me be honest with you. I feel like, Yeah, and this is like fucking in the future, so we'll stop there. But yeah, I feel like this kind of just goes tests my point here. The every other album is good. Or every other album seems to be really good, but other than that, I mean, we've had better albums these past few years. I feel like this is very lacking. And again, maybe it's just there's a couple out like as you saw, there's a couple albums where I was like, oh, that's dope. Like I didn't know that album came out. I'll listen to it. But what do you guys think into the comments? What are you guys' thoughts? What were some albums that you guys really enjoyed that I don't know why my thing's freaking out here in OBS. But what were some things that you guys really liked? Albums that came out that you guys enjoyed? Let me know into the comments. Again, J Powell Music. Sorry about the long video. It's just I went through the whole freaking year, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. But again, J Powell Music. I'll catch you guys next video. Enjoy your weekend. Please be safe. Have fun.